Hello, and welcome to
Bell on Earth.
My name is Cassidy,
My name is Kasey.
and together we are the Bell Sisters. Join us each week as we corrupt your soul,
And bring you to salvation.
discussing life, death, and everything in between.
Are you afraid of getting into heaven?
Hello
And welcome
to Bell on Earth,
to the podcast.
the birthday.
Birthday!
I think this episode will be actually coming out on my birthday, right? Because it'll be Friday.
It will be.
Yeah.
Casey's turning 25.
Don't remind them.
Tell them that it's my birthday. Tell them that it's my birthday. Tell them that it's my birthday when I party like that.
Real.
Ooh, jazz it up.
Oh, we're gonna jazz it up for sure.
We definitely are.
So the day this is coming out will be my birthday. So go me, I guess.
Yeah.
And therefore, we have a very special episode.
Yeah.
The birthday episode.
The birthday.
The birthday.
The birthday. Like the rebirth, but
Yeah.
this was just one birth.
The Bell on birthday.
The original birth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we've been talking a lot about like conspiracy theories and stuff. So I thought
Where is this
we
going?
could just have some theories on Kasey.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
What are your theories on me? I
Um
can confirm or deny.
well, okay. So I feel like one theory that goes around
Where is it going
The
around?
look that you gave me was so funny. But one theory that goes around the fam is that you were dropped as a baby.
Oh,
And there's photographic
only.
evidence of this.
no. Not only was I dropped, but I rolled down a hill.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it was a slight incline. But
It-
I still
yeah.
rolled.
You definitely rolled.
I was there. Do I remember it? No, but I've been told about this plenty of times.
Yeah, there's-
Pretty sure one of our cousins dropped me.
Yeah, there's photographic evidence of it.
There's a photographic evidence?
Yeah, I'd have to find it, but there is.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We need this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's not a theory. That's a confirmed fact.
Well, I meant, I guess, like, stories, basically, about,
yeah.
like, your life and times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you know more about our life than I do. I
Yeah.
don't remember a lot.
I'm, like, the
It slowly
the
comes back to
historian.
me. But
Yeah, I feel like I remember more stuff about you than, like, my own life, but
fair. I mean,
Actually-
you witnessed mine.
yeah, one of my very first memories that I personally can recall is, like, being outside of the hospital when you were born with our grandma.
Really?
Yeah, that's, like, my first memory. Like, I have this very, like, not clear, I guess, but, like, kind of vivid, like, sort of fuzzy memory of, like, grabbing our grandma's hand and, like, walking to the hospital. I don't remember actually, like, meeting or seeing you. I just remember being outside the hospital with our grandma.
Wow.
It's, like, my very first. And then after that, it skips ahead to, like, 6 or 7.
Yeah. Do you remember, like, biting my feet and, like, punching me in the face?
No, you punched me in the face.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember
Which
that.
makes way more sense.
True.
No, when I first met Kasey, she punched me in the face.
I mean, I had to.
At like a day
to
old.
assert my dominance.
Yeah, that really like set the tone for the rest of our sisterhood.
As it should.
Yeah. Okay, so actually one of my favorite stories of you comes from one of my friends. Shout out Rebecca.
Oh no.
She was my friend in middle school and like high school. And we still like have each other on like Instagram or whatever. But yeah, she told me one time that when you were really little, she remembers you being like, the sky is orange, or and then just being like, ha, 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 and then just like walking away. And that was like one story that she told me a lot of times.
Wait, first of all, how old were we when, like, or how old was I when we like first knew Rebecca. I knew we were pretty young, but
yeah, I don't exactly remember, but
why did I say that?
I don't know. No, and I don't even remember this happening, but she really told me about this. She was like, you were really, like, or, I mean, she told me, so she was saying that Casey was, like, a really real child. But
Oh
I
my
think
God.
we knew each other, I don't remember. I don't know. We must knew each other in kindergarten, I guess.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was when I knew her in middle school. I'm not really sure. I'd have to, like, call her up.
Yeah, because, like, I know there are pictures from when we went, like, apple picking. And I was still, I think, in elementary school at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, I met her when we were pretty young. Well, like, I was, like, 11. And so you must have been, what, like 9?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had, like, my glasses on in those pictures.
Yeah.
And I, like, started wearing contacts in middle school. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so I remember her saying that. And I thought that was a really funny memory.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was fucking orange, I guess.
Yeah, you would just say weird shit like that and stuff.
I mean, I feel like I still do.
Yeah. But I guess you're like a creepy child to other people. See, like, I feel like
Other people.
yeah, like, I feel like I don't remember you being that creepy, but like, I also was creepy, so
Yeah.
like, to me, you were just like normal.
Yeah.
But I do know that you would go into like our parents' room and like stare at them and stuff like that.
I know that I would hide under their beds sometimes, and that was not a good idea.
Yeah.
I learned my lesson from that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
Mm.
What else did I do that was I don't know. Well, I feel like what I consider creepy is like different than what other people consider creepy.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I could like think back and be like, oh yeah, like that's whatever, and then other people would be like,
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, is that not how humans are supposed to interact with their environment?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Exactly. I do remember that you used to like never wear clothing, but this was like when you were like 1 or 2.
No, I would either not wear clothing or wear way too many pieces.
Yeah. I guess you must have been like 2 to 4. This was like your phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would wear like either like 5 pairs of socks and like 6 underwears, or you'd wear nothing.
Yeah, I remember like when I first started dressing myself, which had to be, I guess, like around like 5, because I remember going to school, so I think it was around kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I was able to do way too much in kindergarten.
Yeah, we had a lot of freedom.
But I like vividly remember going to kindergarten and I was wearing straight up like 5 pairs of underwear, and I remember I told someone because I was proud of it. I like told one of my classmates and they like looked at me like really like they were very disturbed by that, and they were 5 as well. But I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, can you believe?
You're like, ooh, I'm such an enigma. You were a pick-me girl.
But to be fair, I feel like that's not pick me. I feel like that's actually kind of unique.
Kind of scary.
Yeah. I feel like that's actually like probably cause for concern.
Yeah. Oh my god, I remember one of our moms, which shout out to moms.
One of our moms?
No.
We have what?
No.
How many do we have? You know that I don't.
I didn't finish.
Okay.
But well, okay, the sentence was gonna be one of our mom's favorite memories.
Oh.
And then I was gonna say shout out to mom because when we're filming this or recording it, it's Mother's Day.
Yeah.
So shout out.
Yeah. It's my episode, but I guess we can include a shout out.
Okay, well, shout out to you too. You're a cat mom tea. So.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a cat mom to this many cats, but I am, so I need a shout out.
Yeah. You're a cat foster mom tea.
But not foster. They're my cats. It's not a foster situation.
It's more of like a hostage situation, but
Except
you're the hostage.
Yeah, I am the hostage.
But anyway, one of our mom's favorite memories is when I guess Kasey's kindergarten teacher called the house and was like, "Hey, I just wanted to let you know that Kasey came in with mascara on today." And my mom was like, "What?" And then she was like, "Yeah, she came in today like with mascara." And I don't know if like she just didn't realize like when you went in or if you had put it on later what you did.
Yeah, and
But
also like when I was that age, I like had like a low-key like emo haircut. Like my like bangs would go over my eyes.
yeah. But yeah, you like came home and there was mascara all over your cheeks. And my mom like cries every time, or I guess our mom, whatever.
Yeah.
But like she cries every time she tells that story because it's so funny. But yeah, you had like mascara like all under your eyes. And it was pretty funny.
I was just
We're
I was
that
just going
girl.
for a cunty look that day.
Oh yeah.
A lot of things happened in kindergarten for me.
Yeah.
I also changed my name to Emily.
Oh yeah, you should tell that story.
That's a good one. Yeah, so I think it like all started for whatever reason I didn't like the name Kasey. I've grown into it since then, even though now I'm also Ducky, but anyway.
Yeah.
But in kindergarten, I like vividly remember realizing that I could change my name because I heard about how like Miley Cyrus, her actual name is Destiny Hope Cyrus, but like I think her grandpa or someone would call her Smiley Miley, and so she changed it to Miley. And I was like, oh, that's an option. And so, for Lord knows what fucking reason, I was like, you know what's better than Kasey? Emily.
I remember
Which
this.
is literally, like, no offense to Emily's, but it's, like, worse.
Yeah.
It's, like, a downgrade from Kasey with a K, especially.
It's also just, like, it doesn't really suit you as a person.
It was probably just the only name that I could, like, comprehend.
Think of. Yeah.
So,
I remember you coming home one day and be like, my name is Emily now.
yeah, so don't dead name me.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I wanted to remember how to spell it, too. So I, like, wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I went to school. And I, like, at that time, it was, like, I don't remember why, but there were, like, 2 teachers. I think one was, like, a teaching assistant or something like that.
Yeah.
But I had 2 teachers, and I, like, went up to them that day, and I was like, yeah, like, I'm changing my name to Emily, so don't call me Kasey, call me Emily. And, like, reflecting back, I realized they were, like, kind of making fun of me. But one of the teachers was like, oh, well, like, what if I don't know how to spell it? And so I pulled out the piece of paper with Emily written on it. I was like, oh, here. And she, like, burst out laughing, and I, like, didn't understand what was so funny at that time.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, I do.
I don't
Because
think...
that's really fucking funny.
Yeah. I personally also don't think I'd be able to hold it in if the child came up to me and was like, my name's Emily now.
And here's a piece of paper with it written on it. Because it's like, obviously she knew how to spell Emily.
Yeah.
And she was just kind of messing with me.
It could have been like M or like EMLEE. Like it could have been a different spelling.
Yes, Cassidy, I'm sure. I'm sure that was her thought process.
Yeah, it probably
that was her concern. But yeah, so I did that. And then I remember on the school bus, I was telling everyone to call me Emily, but they kept calling me Kasey, and they got really mad about it. And so I don't think it lasted more than like 2 days.
No.
Until I got to a point where no one was calling me Emily. Like literally no one was calling me Emily. So I just quit. And I went back to Kasey.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I understand the trans struggle.
Do you?
I do.
You really had that similar story.
I did.
Yeah.
I walked so they could run.
Right.
So, yeah, that was my Emily experience. I also, in kindergarten, I also peed my pants. Although, did I do that in preschool?
Probably.
No, it wasn't during preschool. It was... Okay, so we'll get to the kindergarten pee pants story in a second. However, I want to go over this, because I want to see if you remember this. So in preschool, they had, like, a shared bathroom where there were, like, 2 toilets in it.
I thought there was more.
Whatever it was, there were, like, multiple toilets in that bathroom, and I did not like that.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like, 3 years old or 4 years old, and I was like, this is weird. I'm not watching other people pee, and I don't want them to watch me pee. And, like, up until, I think, high school, I had this weird, maybe in middle school, but, like, I know at least elementary school and kindergarten, and preschool, I had this thing about public bathrooms where I would like refuse to go in them.
Yeah.
And I would just like hold in my pee because I didn't want to pee in these bathrooms. And like I think part of it like stemmed from that bathroom. The like anxiety of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was kind of weird. There was a couple toilets in there, and like reflecting back, I'm pretty sure it was like
So they could
for
watch
safety.
everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, no, obviously also makes it easier, I guess, but
Yeah, but I don't remember if it was it had to be preschool.
Mhm.
But I
No, it was
also,
preschool.
Well, not that, but I also remember because like I have like two separate like traumas from bathrooms that had to like have caused all the other issues. But
yeah.
there was this other memory that I have where I think it was preschool because I don't think this was kindergarten, but we would do like bathroom time basically where we'd all get in like a single file line and like go to the bathroom, and everyone would like go to the bathroom like in line basically. But like the door is open, so there's a line of children watching you pee.
Yeah, that's preschool.
So I was like, I remember like I would go, I don't know if this happened every time, but like I know one specific time I was like next in line, so I like went like into the bathroom, but I literally just like stood there and stared at the teacher. Like I just stood there and stared at her because I didn't know what to do because I was like, I'm not peeing in front of everyone.
And you wonder why people called you a creepy child.
but I remember I just like stared at her, and she was like, do you want me to close the door? And I was like, yeah. And so she closed the door, and I just kept standing in the bathroom because I didn't want to pee. Like, and now I was already anxious.
Yeah.
So I couldn't pee. So I, like, waited a couple seconds, and then I, like, ripped toilet paper, put it in the toilet, and, like, went out of the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
So there was that. And then, yeah, so then in kindergarten, so by then I had my bathroom anxiety. I never wanted to use public bathrooms, and so I would just hold it the entire time. And sometimes I would, like, pee a little bit and, like, leave the puddle on the seat. That's so gross. But, like,
so you wouldn't use public bathroom, but you would pee on the seat.
basically. Yes. So,
Oh
okay,
my
but so
God.
one time, oh my God. So, like, you know how they would make you, like, at the end of, or whatever it was, whatever transition, they would make you, like, stand up and, like, push your chair in and then stand in back of your chair until, like, your table is called to go in line or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we were doing that, but I had to pee so fucking bad, and I couldn't hold it in anymore, so I just, like, peed. And there was a puddle of urine behind me while I'm just standing there at my chair. And, like, other tables were being called, so students were, like, walking over my pee puddle. And I was just standing there crying with my, like, wet pants and pee puddle behind me. And then I don't know that I want to know if anyone else remembers this, but people probably do. But I remember, like, the teacher pulled me out, because, again, this time I had, like, the two teachers, so I think one teacher stayed in, one teacher pulled me out. And she was like, you know, like, it's okay, like, this happened to me when I was, like, your age too, which it definitely fucking didn't.
Yeah.
She definitely did not pee a puddle in front of her class when she was my age. But anyway.
I mean, I feel like it's not an uncommon experience for
It's not, yeah, I guess it's not that
for like
uncommon.
kids that age, yeah, because like kids can't hold it a lot of the time,
Yeah.
you know, and like when you have such a regimented structure around, like they're trying to like get you ready for other school, but like it doesn't really work with like little kids,
Yeah.
you know.
And, like, I couldn't have been the only child with, like, peeing anxiety.
Well,
Anyway.
I do remember though, like people peeing their pants in class, like in my kindergarten class and things like that. Like it's not uncommon.
Did they leave a puddle, though?
I don't recall that.
Yeah. Well, I'm unique, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I remember that happened, and my mom obviously got called, but I went to, okay, this was kind of weird. I, like, went to the nurse, and they, like, somehow had, like, a lost and found pair of pants. So I, like, wore those. Like, whose fucking pants was I wearing?
Well, they were never cleaned, I guess.
They're, like, saving these for when someone pisses their pants. And we
Yeah,
need
that's
them.
what, like, kindergartens and, like, elementary schools really do that, because people be leaving their shit all over the place, and then, like, people pee their pants. So they
So
just
they're, like,
give out pants.
perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, in high school you had like, in middle school too, you have like your gym uniform, but like,
Yeah.
because I remember like being told to change to my gym uniform like multiple times.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, they didn't have that obviously as babies.
Yeah. So I just had a random child's pants on.
Yeah.
But I like they were like a pair of shorts or something. And I remember like kind of being happy because I was like, oh, these are cute.
You're like, great parent.
I was like, okay, slay. And then mom came and she's like, oh, you already have pants on. And I was like, so yeah, there was that. What else did I do in kindergarten?
Do you remember when there was like this after school or like night program or something at the preschool?
Yeah,
were
that
not
was the other
in-
time I peed my pants.
Yeah, we were not in preschool at this time, but like there was like some sort of like night program because like our parents were doing something or whatever, so we went to this thing. And I don't remember exactly what we did. I think we just like hung out there and they played like Aladdin or something.
I do, yes. I do vividly remember watching a movie because I remember we were like all like sitting on the floor and watching it. And I don't remember what I was doing, but I had like stood up and like walked somewhere and then I was like walking back. And this kid had his like fingers everywhere. His hands are just like across the room and pinkies and middle fingers and pointers everywhere. Scattered. And I accidentally stepped on one of them. And I like apologized. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. But he like didn't even respond. He like looked at me with like the angriest face on. Like, bitch, why was your finger there?
Yeah, that's like your fault.
Yeah.
Sir.
Stupid bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember we like watched movies at least.
Yeah, I feel like we watched Aladdin. I feel like I remember watching Aladdin.
I believe it.
Yeah. Or, I mean, they could have had Aladdin on another time, but I feel like Aladdin is what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I remember, so I also peed my pants there.
Yeah.
And I remember that because, again, that was where they had the fucking double bathroom, and I was like, I'm not going to the stupid fucking bathroom here. Well, I didn't say it like that. But I remember, like, I was not going to the bathroom there.
But time, because we weren't kindergartners or preschoolers, so I feel like they let you go to the bathroom by yourself. So that's just your own thing.
Well, my public bathroom anxiety was already built by then. I was already traumatized, okay?
Uh-huh.
So I wasn't going to go to the bathroom regardless, even if it was private.
Uh-huh.
So, yeah, I remember that, and I just remember, like, I had to pee so bad, and of course, like, our parents were the last ones to fucking show up.
Yeah.
And, like, I'm sure, like, they were even, like, calling them, like, where are you?
But the best part about that was that she was, like, sobbing, and they were like, why are you crying? And she was like, I miss my dog, Raider. And I was just like, uh-huh. I remember seeing that and being like, oh my god.
The reason I was crying was because I had to pee. And I couldn't hold it anymore. And I remember this so well because it was snowing.
Uh-huh.
And so it was like kind of in that hallway where like you first enter. And so obviously there was kind of like wet marks on the floor already. And like my pee was like trickling down my leg. And leaving like little marks on the floor, but I was like, they won't notice because there's already wet spots. But I was crying because I was like literally like in pain trying to hold my urine in.
Yeah.
And I was like, I didn't know what else to say. I wasn't gonna like admit that I had to pee. How could I do that?
But I feel like it was funny because there was another kid crying and they were like crying for their parents and you were just like,
my dog.
Raider!
I couldn't give a fuck about my parents. They're the reasons I had to pee so bad because they weren't showing up.
Yeah.
God.
I remember that. Yeah, and I remember being like kind of late when they came. It was like 8 or 9 or something.
Yeah.
Crazy time.
Yeah, like how could you do that to us? What the fuck were you doing out that late?
I don't know. I don't remember. I'm sure it was something dumb.
Yeah.
No
It
offense.
was probably one of those like school like auctions or dinners or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was something like that.
So yeah, there was that.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go just like chronologically?
Yeah, I guess so.
So that was when did I like get that black tooth?
That
It had to be before, right?
you were like 4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
Because the first time we went to Disney, you were 3 and I was 5. And then the second time, you were 5 and I was 7. So it was the second time.
Okay.
So, our parents' friends have like a time, or had a timeshare. I don't know if they still have it now, but like they had a timeshare in Disney. So we went 2 different times to their timeshare and then like went to the parks or whatever.
Which, mind you, that was also the time that I had walking pneumonia.
Didn't you have it both times?
No, I think it was only the second time. No, because the first time we flew.
Yeah.
And then, because one of, like, our family friends, he, like, didn't like flying, so the second time we drove.
Yeah.
But it was, like, because we drove that I think I was able to go still.
Yeah.
Because, like, I guess I was getting over my pneumonia, but I still had to use, like, a nebulizer and stuff.
We brought the nebulizer in the car.
And I was literally in the back seat next to the luggage, just nebulizing.
Yeah, and I was in the middle seat, and then, whoever was driving, obviously, and then, like, the front seat. But, yeah, I remember being in the middle seat, like, sleeping. And then,
I was, like...
but you
air.
wanted to be in the back. Because it was, like, the warmest...
Suffering. I was like, no one needs to see me.
Okay, I know you liked it back there with the luggage. It was really funny. Yeah, you had pneumonia and we still fucking went, which was so funny.
But then, karma's a bitch. You should have known better. Because when we got there, I got over my pneumonia, and then you and Mom got, like, food poisoning or something.
Yeah, and I threw up on my whale.
Yes, on your whale.
Yeah.
Because I remember the first, like, couple days we were there, I could only go on, like, the, like, dumbbell ride, because like I couldn't go on anything too extreme, otherwise I would like die, or I don't know what happened, but I couldn't go on anything too extreme, so I had to go on like the little kiddie rides only, and I was so mad. And then like once I got better, you guys got sick, and I was like
yeah. But the whole thing with the black tooth was that we were waiting for the bus at some point. It was like when, I guess we must have been going from the timeshare to the park, and I was chasing Kasey through the little metal corral that they have, like at the bus stops, like those,
like when there's like a long line.
Yeah, they have like those zigzags. Yeah, it was just a couple of us standing there, but it was like one of those zigzag corral things, and we were running through it. And at some point, I was chasing Kasey, and Kasey like turned to look at like the adults. And as she turned, she ran straight into the metal pole. And obviously, like, her mouth was, like, the same
level.
Yeah, it was, like, the same height. So her mouth went colliding with the metal pole, and she fell down. And then her tooth was black for, like, a year until it fell out. Because it was still baby teeth.
Yeah, it was
so
my baby tooth, so it was
whatever.
fine.
Yeah, but it was pretty funny.
It was literally black.
Yeah.
Until it fell out, yeah. But I remember, like...
That's
I
just
remember
like
looking back at the parents and then facing forward straight into the pole, and then I like blacked out briefly, and then like when I opened my eyes I just had like adults surrounding me.
Yeah.
And I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, I think we got into trouble for that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. But whatever, I guess.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah.
It's just a tooth. It's just a baby
That
tooth.
was like one of many body parts to like fall off of you.
Yeah, somehow I've never like broken anything or anything like that, but like I've had, okay, both of my big toenails fell off.
Mm-hmm.
This was like middle school, but they both like fell off for different reasons, but within like a couple week period of each other.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point I had like both big toenails like regrowing.
Yeah.
Simultaneously.
It's really gross.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Like,
one was from soccer and the other one was from a pool or something, right?
Yeah. One was from, like, I think someone, like, stepped on my toe, like, through my cleat and, like, got all
with
fucked
their
up.
cleat, yeah.
So it was like, and then the second one, I was, like, swimming in, I think, our neighbor's pool, and I was, like, holding onto the edge and, like, kicking my feet, and it, like, smashed into the wall. And then it just, like, died, basically, and started, like, lifting up. So at some point, I just kind of, like, started scraping it off.
Oh, my God.
Until it just, like, came off. And then I just had, like, a toe. And then, like, slowly
Disgusting.
the, like, top part, like, where the nail, like, typically is, just starts, like, growing again.
Yeah.
But it's weird because, like, so unless you've, I guess, had your toenail fall off, you wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, what happens is the first layer grows, and then it, like, curls back over and grows a second one. So it, like, looks like a little, like, swoosh at first. It's very bizarre.
Gross.
But yeah, and then eventually my toes are fine now.
Yeah.
I'm sure some of you would like to see.
Yeah. I'm sure someone would pay for that.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's your birthday.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you can pay me. You can't see them, but you can pay me. It's my birthday.
It's your birthday.
Um,
And then your ear fell out.
Oh, that's a good one, actually.
Yeah.
I still have issues with that, but I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. You know what's crazy, though, is that before we get into the story, like, I know other people with your condition that, like, did not go through the things that you did.
No, that's the thing, is that, like, I'll explain obviously more in a second, but, like, I went to, like, multiple specialists, and, like, both of them, who were, like, old men who've been in the field for, like, 50 years or whatever it was, were like, yeah, like, I've never seen this before.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, fucking how? Like, me? Like, what?
They were like, I've never seen a gay bitch like this.
Literally. A dumb slut. I'm like 12. But yeah, so basically, I'm pretty sure it was 5th grade, because I remember we were in music class, but it was when the classroom had been moved to, like, the downstairs.
I don't remember.
I think you had already graduated by then. So it was, like, the music room had been moved to, like, the downstairs. And we were, like, walking into the classroom, and my ear, like, really hurt. And I was like, what the fuck?
And you always, like, from a very young age had, like, you always had, like, a lot of, like, different, like, immuno, like, problems. Like, you were always sick, and you always had, like, sinus infections and ear infections, like, from a very young age. I remember that.
Well, I don't know if this is, like, the reason, but I was born, like, 2 weeks late.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I think part of that kind of fucked me up, because
Yeah.
if you guys don't know, so the first poop that a baby has is very toxic.
Mm-hmm.
And you're supposed to have that, like, outside of your mother.
Yeah.
But happy Mother's Day. I pooped inside of her.
Yeah.
And I almost, like, made us both septic, basically.
Right.
And so,
You're welcome.
yeah, you're welcome. From the beginning, I've been violent.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I did that, and then, like, it became, like, a problem, and I had to, like, get out. But I think, like, that possibly had something to do with, like, some of the issues that I have, but I don't know.
Yeah.
In general, I'm just, like, kind of fucked up, but
But
whatever.
it's, like, weird because I feel like you haven't been as sickly, like, since you've been out of, like, well, I guess, like, since high school, I feel like you haven't been as sickly.
Yeah, I've definitely, like, grown out of a lot of it. I still have, like, sinus issues, but I think I've just, like, given up.
Yeah.
And I just, like, accept it. And, like, I don't really know much different, so, like, it
Yeah.
doesn't really affect me that much. But anyway, so my ear. So, yeah, so I had just, like, felt that it just, like, kind of hurt. And I also have, like, a high tolerance for pain, like, ever since I was younger. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
even when I would get ear infections, I wouldn't know until it was, like, serious.
Right.
And I would just be like, it feels stuffy. And so then we'd go, and they're like, your ear's, like, about to rupture. So, yeah, so
Your
one
ear is
day,
rotting
it
from the
started
inside.
hurting. So I went to the nurse, and she was like, I mean, it's a fucking school nurse. What are they gonna do? She was like, maybe you just slept on it wrong. And I was like, okay. Which, like, does happen sometimes. Like, I have, like, slept on my ear wrong, but it's, like, the cartilage that bends or something. Like, that's
Yeah.
what's painful. It's not the inside of your fucking ear.
Right.
But whatever. So it, like, kept hurting. And so my mom, like, made an appointment with our pediatrician, and he looked in the ear. He's like, yeah, that looks bad. You should go to a specialist.
Uh-huh.
So we went to a specialist, and basically what happened was somehow fluid got trapped, like, behind my eardrum, and they had to cut a hole in my eardrum and place a tube in it, which is supposed to just drain out, and then the tube falls out by itself, and then the hole should close by itself. And that's typically what happens, and it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, and I remember your ear draining. It was always so gross.
Yeah, no, it was like literally, well, okay. So in the beginning, it wasn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was you're not supposed to get water in it. And so, like, when you go take a shower, you're supposed to, like, cover it up a little bit. If
Oh,
you go
yeah,
to
I
the
remember that.
you're supposed to, if you're going to like a pool or the beach or something, you're supposed to like put like one of those earplugs in and whatever. And I did, but one time we went to the beach. I think this was like Ocean City or something like that. And we went to the beach and I got hit by a wave that knocked the earplug out. And then I got hit by another wave that like filled my ear with like seawater.
Shit.
And I'm like 99% sure that's what like really fucked it up.
Yeah.
So after that,
so it was your fault.
It was the ocean's fault.
It was Mother Nature.
Well, I didn't know that I'd get hit with a second wave.
Yeah.
That would knock it all out. Because like the doctor, because we went on vacation like before that, we like asked the doctor like, is it okay? And he's like, yeah, as long as you wear an earplug, like it's like not like gonna be a problem. So we're like, okay, cool. But yeah, no one was expecting the fucking like waves to beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, so we went to the doctor, and basically what happened after that was like my ear would like, okay, so like you know when like you're sick and you start coughing up like phlegm?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that, but just like liquefied and like pouring out of your ear.
Yeah.
That's what would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I would like be in the middle of class and I'd feel like goo like dripping out of my ear and down my neck. And I was like, this is horrible. But I could do nothing about it. What was I going to do? And the doctor was just like, yeah, just like let it do its thing, basically. Which probably was not the right course of action. But obviously he was the specialist. So we just did what he said. And mind you, the tube was still in at this point. And so he was like, yeah, like once the tube comes out, like you'll know. But like I didn't know, because sometimes there would be kind of like clumps in this mucus drain.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time I was in 6th grade and I was in science class and I like thought it fell out and I could like kind of feel something and I like didn't know what to do, and I like went to my teacher. I was like, I know this is really disgusting, but like I explained the situation. I was like, can you just like look and see if like there's a tube in that gunk? And she looked and she was really cool about it, thankfully.
That's nice.
And she was like, no, like I don't like see anything. And so I had gone to the doctor again because I was like, I don't know if it fell out or not. And he looks in my ear. Actually, I think at this point we went to like a new specialist. I think this was the one in the city.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so we like went to the specialist and he was like, well, in my like 50 years or whatever of doing this, I've never seen this happen, but the tube fell inside your eardrum, not out.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you've never seen this before?
Yeah.
So basically he had to use like a tiny, tiny little camera and a tiny, tiny little, I don't know what he fucking used. I don't know if it was like little tweezer type things or whatever it was, but he had to go inside this hole and pull the tube out.
Mm-hmm.
And I did kind of feel very slay that day. Because after it all happened, because it was like pretty rough. Like he had like literally like, they might have put like a drop of like something numbing in my ear, but like you couldn't really do much for it. And I remember afterwards he was like, I like know like old men who couldn't have sat through something like that, because like he had to dig in my ear for a while and that shit's sensitive.
Yeah.
But yeah, he like finally got the tube out and he's like, okay, well like it should still close on its own. It didn't.
Right.
So basically what happened after that was he suggested I had a surgery to close it, which entailed taking a skin graft from behind my ear and using that to close the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short, that didn't work. And I'm pretty sure they tried it a second time. I honestly don't remember. I'm pretty sure there was a second surgery where they like tried it again.
Yeah, I feel like I remember a second surgery.
I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah, there was a second surgery, because I remember after that, the specialist was like, well, this just seems like your body telling us, like, if it's rejected it twice now, that it's just not going to happen, and your ear basically needs to have a hole in it to, like, create equilibrium for itself. So there's nothing that we could do.
You're like, he was like, your body is just stupid and dumb, and we're just gonna leave it that way.
And I was like, well, I knew that, but yeah, so basically I still have a hole in my eardrum.
Damn.
And I actually like fairly recently, within like the past like 2 years, I'd gone to the ear doctor again, because like again I just kind of like stopped going, because I was like, well, what else is there to do? I just like whatever. I'd gotten like my hearing test done, and I was like at that point 60% deaf in my left ear, and I was like, well, fuck it, whatever, it's not gonna get any better. And so I kind of stopped going, And yeah, within the past couple years, I had gone again, and he looked at my ear and he's like, yeah, there's a hole in your eardrum. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm here, you stupid bitch.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, like, I guess you have like a couple of options. He was like, you could try to like surgically close it again, or you could basically just leave it and like just like don't really go underwater for extended periods of time. And I was like, I probably shouldn't have been doing that, huh? All of these years that I've been swimming and not thinking about that.
Yeah.
Because part of the reason I had to get this surgery the first time was because there was a like possibility with like all of the like gunk coming out of it and like all of the issues I was having. Like, they were worried that basically like the fluid around my brain would become infected.
Uh-huh.
So that's why it was like really urgent that I had the first one done. And I was like, well, hopefully that doesn't happen again, I guess. But only time will tell.
Right.
If anything, it probably already has.
Yeah. I mean, probably.
I like, whatever. I'm like fine enough.
Yeah. I mean, you're a podcaster, so obviously not, but...
Well, like, at that point, it's like, if anything, like an infected cerebral fluid would probably do me good.
It's probably like better for you at this point.
Yeah, it like creates good content.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I always remember all that happening, but like I didn't really know what was going on since I wasn't really like a part of it. So
yeah, I wouldn't expect you to be.
Yeah, I was just kind of like there and like, oh, she's going to the ear doctor again. And I knew that like you had a tube in your ear and like that like there was stuff going on, but I didn't really like know the whole thing. But again, like I said, like I remember meeting someone who had the exact same condition, and I was telling them about like all the issues you were having, and they're like, oh, that didn't happen to me. Yeah. And I was like, oh.
No, I've met multiple
normal?
people who like have also had tubes in their ear, and yeah, theirs just heals normally.
Yeah.
The tube falls out or it comes out and their fucking eardrum heals over and they don't have these issues anymore, or they still just have like ear infections or whatever it is. But like no one really has like the same hearing loss as me. No one has had their tube fucking fall inside of their ear.
Yeah.
No one had the same like drainage issues. Like,
yeah.
Really? Is this necessary?
But like it's not unsurprising just being the people that we are. It's always the weirdest shit that happens.
It's always like weird and like complicated for no reason.
Yeah, and extreme.
Yeah, and then there's just like no solution.
Yeah, there's like nothing any specialist can do.
No, I remember. No, okay, this had to be like one of the last appointments, and I like vividly remember my mom like asking, because this was when he was like, well, like I don't know what to do anymore from here. And my mom was like, well, like, is there anywhere else we could go? Or, like, is there anything else that, like, we should do? And he straight up was like, well, when she's crossing the street, just make sure she looks left twice.
That's funny.
It was like... But, like, not for nothing. But now when I cross the street, I really do look left twice to make sure, like, I actually didn't hear anything.
I mean, he slayed with that comment.
No, yeah.
That was top tier.
He got me.
Yeah.
He silenced us.
That's so funny.
So.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Shout out Dr. Fishman.
Yeah. Shout out. That's crazy.
So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my ear.
Now that we've gone through all your health problems,
Oh,
I feel like we should...
My mental issues?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, there's that. But I wanted to tell the story of your pony.
Horse,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But I just felt like that's a necessary story to tell.
Yeah, and I stand by it.
Yeah.
Tell it.
I have to... Okay. So...
I want to hear your perspective.
Okay,
and then
so-
I'll confirm or deny.
Ever since Kasey's been like a very young child, she has claimed that in...
Claimed. I have spoken out about.
Uh-huh. But she has claimed that in my mom's womb, she had a horse friend.
A horse twin.
That she would ride on.
Okay, no, I didn't ride on it.
No,
you weren't even there.
No, I remember you saying that you would ride on it. I remember this so clearly.
Okay.
And that when she pooped in the womb, it died, and then just she came out.
Yeah.
Without the horse.
Which, listen.
And didn't the horse have a name, like something like Philip or something like that?
Oh, I don't remember the name.
You definitely gave it a name at some point, but I don't remember what it was.
I blocked it out. It's too traumatizing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I did, in fact, have a horse. That is true.
Uh-huh.
Smash.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy confirmed. Yeah, so I vividly remember as a child.
As a child?
In the womb.
Uh-huh.
I had my horse, and then confirmed
you
when I
vividly remember this in the womb.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was there.
Right.
I was literally there. You wouldn't know. You weren't there. You already exited.
Yeah,
previously.
I was already out of there.
Yeah. So yeah, I was in the womb with this horse. And then the other thing is that, like, when I was younger, which, like, I suppose, like, other children also had this, but instead of having, like, an imaginary friend, like, a person, like, my imaginary friend was a horse. Oh. And I, like, fully believe that, like, my, like, the ghost of my, like, womb horse was the horse that I would, like, play with.
Right.
And I would, deadass, I would, like, gallop around the yard at recess on my horse. I wasn't even a horse girl. I would just, like, I had my imaginary friend horse. And then I would come inside, and I had, you know, like, I don't know the terminology, but you know, like, how the horses have the little, like, leash things on them?
Yeah, like the leads?
Yeah, like the little leads. So I would, like, come inside after recess, and I would, like, tie the lead to my desk. Like, I would, like, physically tie it to my desk so that my horse, like, stayed with me, and I'd untie it, and we'd, like, go home together, and, like, yeah, I had a horse.
Yeah.
Confirmed.
Sure.
So there was that.
Yeah, I remember this very vividly, and this was, like, a big story in the family. Because you would,
How
like,
could it not
you
be?
were, like, unrelenting about it.
Well, it was my real experience.
Your reality.
Yes.
No one else lives in this reality but you and the horse, but...
Well, it died before anyone else could meet it.
Oh, right.
It's very, like, Donnelly of it. No one else ever met it besides me.
I feel like that reference should just go on...
People don't need
I don't
to
know. Like, yeah, just... Yeah.
So, yes, I had a horse. Confirmed. What else do you want to know?
I feel like I was there for the rest of it, so... Because, like, it was really, like, elementary school to, like, middle school that I feel like we weren't as close. Like, we obviously grew up together and we would, like, play together as kids, but, like, we weren't, like, super close. And then it was, like, the end of middle school, like, through high school that we got, like, a lot closer and we would, like, hang out all the time. So... I don't know. I feel like, and I also feel like as a child, you were like really, really weird. And like, not that you got unweird, but you got a little like more restrained. Stable. Yeah. Like your weird comes out around like people that you're comfortable with, but not like the way that you were weird as a child.
I feel like you need to expand upon this.
You were creepy.
Curious.
I don't know, you were just like a really weird kid. Like you would just do really weird things all the time. And like
spill? Expose me.
I mean, I feel like we've talked about it a little bit, but you would just have these like random stories, or like you would just like talk about things that happened to you that like never happened, or like I don't know. You were really into, like, ghosts and, like, weird shit, which, like, I guess we both kind of were, but I was more like when I was a kid, I was like really into like the mystical, like fairies and stuff like that. And you were just hardcore into like ghosts and like death and like all these weird things.
Yeah.
Which isn't like, I don't
remember
know.
that.
It just like makes sense as you got older, but like it got more like refined, I guess, as you got older.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, it was just like an amalgam of just like weird shit.
I love that for me.
Yeah.
I like, whenever I like hear stories about myself, I'm like, I wish I could have met my childhood self.
Oh yeah. No, I definitely do feel like as like pre-middle school, we were both like really like fun and cool.
Yeah.
And then like puberty happened. And not that we weren't fun, but for like a long period of time, I feel like we were just so depressed and like riddled with anxiety and like other stuff that like our personalities were so like deeply
dulled.
Pushed down. Yeah, they were just like pushed down and like dulled and stuff like that.
I think it's slowly coming back.
Yeah, I feel like mine has like come back like quite a bit. But yeah, like I just feel like as like middle school, high school like age, we kind of were like just so repressed. And like now we're starting to like come into ourselves again. But yeah, we were both pretty like weird kids. Like definitely not like normal weird kids.
Yeah, I do think one of my favorites was like our obsession with like Amish culture. And how, okay, so I know there's like other places that have like Amish country, but we lived pretty close to like Pennsylvania.
Well, there's also a lot of Amish in New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, we would go to Pennsylvania, which is kind of like not like the headquarters of the Amish, but it's
HQ.
Yeah, it's like the largest communities are there.
Yeah.
Pardon Marty's bone eating in the background. He's getting really into it.
Of course.
Yeah. But yeah, like so we went there, I want to say like 2 or 3 times because again, like family friends would have like this like get together at like it was like the Yogi Berra or like Jellystone Park or whatever it was. Yeah.
Where it's basically just like
it was just like camp cabins and camping and stuff like that. And then
we
would go
not like luxury camping, but it was like the glamping kind of thing where it's like a log cabin and like maybe they have like a TV that has like 3 cable channels. It's not like actual glamping, but it's like it's
also like
cabin.
It's not like
it's
camping, but it's not like it was just like a little cabin.
But we go with like our dad's like softball team.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we would go into Amish country because it's like right there, and like Kasey
by ourselves.
There was no
one would not go to this. It was just our family.
I think our uncle came once,
maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just us, and we like did like there was like an Amish tour where you like sat on a wagon. And then
you like churn butter.
Yeah, and you churn butter, and like you went inside like a staged house.
Yeah.
And then I remember telling our driver, like, I really want to be Amish when I grow up because we were so obsessed, and I was also so obsessed with like the
Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, Little House on the Prairie and stuff. And he was like, "Well, that's probably not gonna happen, but you can try."
You're not built for this.
No, I remember so many people telling me that, and I was just like, well, and now you know it's a trend, so fuck all of you.
You don't know me and Laura Ingle Wilder or whatever the fuck her name is.
Yeah, that's her name. You don't know my girl.
Yeah. You don't know.
Yeah.
We're tight like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I just remember it being like, yeah, there's only ever been one person who went from being not Amish, into Amish, and like, he had to go through all this like rigorous like hazing, basically. That's not what he said, but that's basically what it was. He had to like severely transition. It was like all these weird things.
Yeah.
And it just like isn't normal.
It's like way more common for people to transition out of Amish culture.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of people who do, but like most people like, or they don't allow people like into the community. Like you can do your own thing, but you're not Amish.
But we like did it anyway. We had bonnets.
Yeah, we had bonnets.
And
I
we
had
would play Amish, like, you know how like people play like house or like whatever, like at home with their siblings or friends. We would play Amish.
Okay, but like we had like one of those like Fisher Price like kitchen things, but I never remember like playing traditional house.
No.
We either played teacher, where you were the teacher and I was the teacher's baby, and I would ruin the class.
Yes.
And then or like for some reason I was
even play teacher, right?
because I never wanted to be the adult in the situation. I wanted to be the baby. And I would just fuck everything up. Or we would play vet with the animals.
Yeah.
And I think I was like the vet assistant. You were always like the adult or like the boss because like you were very bossy, but I also didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we would play Amish outside. Like I had these like long skirts, and then I had my Amish doll that we got from the Amish.
Yeah.
And then like
straight from the Amish.
yeah, like it was a doll that the Amish made, and her
Yeah.
name was Lena, and she had like a birth certificate and everything.
No, we were like authentically like playing Amish.
Yeah. Yeah, and then I would play by myself, and I would play like that I was a single mom and like my house got wrecked, so I had to sleep outside. No, and I also remember, not to like co-op this episode about me, but I remember one time I made this like berry pie, which was just like wild berries like smushed on a frisbee, and I like pretended to drink it or whatever, but then I actually did, and I thought I was gonna die.
Oh, actually, I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But yeah, we would play like Amish together, or we would play teacher, and you would get so mad because I would like fuck up everything.
You were annoying.
Yeah, but I was like trying to be.
I was like, I'm just trying to do my job. I was like, I'm getting paid enough for this.
You're like, benefits don't.
I'm like, fuck my tenure.
Yeah. No, it was so funny, and you would get so mad, and I thought it was so funny.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Yeah, and then we would like torture the animals playing vet, and we'd force Bootsy in that tiny toy cat carrier.
She like did it though.
Yeah, they were real ones for all
really,
the stuff we did to them.
Yeah.
And that was like our main games, and then like we had like Barbies and Polly Pockets and stuff, but I don't remember you really playing Barbies with me.
I didn't play Barbie. I played Polly Pocket.
Okay, I remember playing Polly Pockets and Barbies by myself, but then I remember playing Lilith's Pet Shops together, like really hardcore Lilith's Pet Shops.
Ugh, I miss that so much.
Yeah.
I would, like, dead ass, like, I feel like we should go to Toys R Us doesn't exist anymore, but we should go to a toy store and like get
Lilith's Pet
Pet
Shops
Shop again.
as a
I would
dog.
high key play that shit. I feel
Yeah.
like that has to be good for your brain, right?
Yeah.
Creativity.
Yeah, I think that would be fun. But yeah, we had a lot too. Like we were really into Lilith's Pet Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was like our thing.
We had like the giant houses and like
Yeah.
the ones you like build up and whatever.
Mhm.
Which was so fun.
No, it was really fun. Yeah, I remember that very clearly because that, like, I don't remember even playing it by myself. Like, I think I would wait for you to get home, we'd play together or whatever.
Adorbs.
Yeah. But yeah, like, by myself, I'd play other things and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. We had good times.
Yeah. So that was mainly,
That's your lore.
yeah, that's like part of my lore. There's so much lore.
Yeah, there's a lot, but that's like the fun part.
Yeah. Well, I guess I feel like the One Direction. Like so I went from like a huge One Direction stan. That was like the first band that I like full on was obsessed with, cuz like when I was younger, I was like my two favorite bands were Green Day and Paramore.
Mm-hmm.
But like One Direction was like I became like entrenched in them.
No, you were like an extreme fan.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you had all of the cutouts. You had the onesie.
The onesie I would wear to school.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like proud. And I still would, honestly. It was
Yeah.
so slay.
I mean, it was honestly a nice onesie.
It
I'm
was
not
so
gonna lie.
nice.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so I was, like, really obsessed with them. I had, like, my Instagram and my Tumblr, and that is actually, it's so funny because that's, like, basically the reason that we live in Texas right now.
Right.
Because, so the story of that is, so I had my One Direction fan account, and obviously as, like, a fan account, I would follow other fan accounts. And there's this one account I came across who had posted that she was looking for co-owners of the account, which, mind you, it only had probably like 1,000 or less followers, but she was like, I'm looking for co-owners. And I was like, okay. So I applied to be a co-owner, and she messaged, like, she like went, I think, in a group chat of like me and this other girl, and she's like, you guys are the only ones who applied, so you can both be co-owners. And we're like, cool. So it was me, that girl, and then someone who's now, like, one of my best friends, Addison. And Addison was, like, the other co-owner who applied. And so the three of us were, like, besties. Like, they both lived in Texas. Addie was, like West Texas, like, the, like, Midland, Odessa area. And then the other girl was in, like, Dallas area. And then I was in New York. But, like, none of us had met or anything like that.
Right.
And so, yeah, we became, like, best friends. And then the other girl who was, like, the original account owner, we kind of had a falling out because she was just, like, annoying. But then, like, Addie and I stayed best friends. And we ended up, after, like, years of being best friends online, we ended up meeting in person for the first time when one of my friends, like, my in-person friends, she wanted to have her, it was, like, her 16th birthday. And there's, I don't know if you know what Rooster Teeth is.
Yes, I remember Rooster Teeth.
Yeah, so Rooster Teeth, if you, like, don't know what it is, it's basically, like, you can, like, look it up. It's really, like, a fucking, like, YouTube, like, company. It's, like, a channel, but it's, like, a whole company. And they have this thing called RTX, which is a convention for Rooster Teeth. It's, like, a large company. They have, like, multiple different channels and, like, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So we went to RTX, and Addie and her mom had met me in Austin after RTX, and, like, my like, the friend who was having the birthday and, like, our other friend who came with us and her mom, they all, like, went and flew home. And then Addie and her mom met me in Austin at the hotel, picked me up, and we went back to, like, her house for a little while. And then so it was the first time we, like, actually met. And this trip, we also had planned it so that it was me, Addie, and her sister Megan. We all flew to California together.
Oh, yeah.
This was that trip where we, like, went and stayed with my grandma for a couple days. And that was so much fun. That was, like, one of the best times of my life, was to, like, meet my best friend in person for the first time, and then, like, have her come and, like, meet my grandma, who, like, I was really close with in California. And it was just honestly so much fucking fun. But yeah, so basically, Addie, like, her favorite city was Austin. And so we had always planned on, like, moving to Austin together and blah, blah, blah. Things came up when it actually came time to move. So that's why, like, Kasey and I just ended up moving down by ourselves. But yeah, so Addie's literally the reason that One Direction is the reason that I currently live in Austin.
And it's so full circle because at this past ACL, we saw Niall.
We did see Niall.
And we also went to his hometown.
Yeah, when I was 14, you were 16, right?
Yeah, it was, like, technically my 16th birthday present.
Right.
Was to visit Ireland, which, like, was fine, but it wasn't really my 16th birthday present, because, like, I didn't get to choose the place.
Yeah.
And, like, it wasn't brought to me as, like, it was brought to me as, like, this is going to be your 16th birthday present, and I was like, oh, okay, like, so I get to choose the trip and, like, where we go, and no. Yeah.
It was fun regardless.
No, it was fun. Like, I'm really glad we went, but, like, yeah. And it was presented as if I had the choice between a trip and a party, which, like, I didn't want a party anyway.
Right.
But, like, a party was never going to happen anyway, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which also, like, I don't know, like, unless it was one of those, like, giant, like, Sweet 16 parties, which, like, neither of us were gonna be into anyway.
I didn't have, like, enough friends to have a Sweet 16.
Like, we hardly had enough friends to, like, have it at our house.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we went to Ireland, and for those of you who don't know, which you should,
Right.
but one of the members of One Direction, Niall, he's from Ireland, from Mullingar, and so we actually got to visit Mullingar, and that was really cool.
Yeah, it was actually a really nice city, and everyone was just like, why are you here?
Yeah.
Because we were, like, American, and, like, Americans don't generally visit Mullingar.
Yeah.
But it was really, really nice. It was
I'm
really
so glad we
cute.
went.
Yeah,
Shout out, Niall.
Yeah, like, one of the best, like, dinners I've ever had was there. Like, it was just so tasty, and everyone there was so nice.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, it was a really, really fun stop. But, yeah, everyone was just like, why are you here? And then we were like, Niall. And they were like, oh. Because everyone was like, are you here to, like, visit family? And we were like,
kind of.
Niall's family. Like, yeah.
Literally.
But, yeah, that was pretty fun. And yeah, it was very full circle.
Yeah.
That we saw Niall in Austin.
So, yeah. So then, I don't know. Is there anything else to go into with, like, middle school and high school?
Not for this.
Not for this episode. I feel like that.
Yeah, we need, like, several trigger warnings before we go into middle and high school. And, yeah.
And also, like, that calls for maybe next birthday.
Yeah.
We can go through the next stages of life.
Right.
So.
But I think that early times was a good episode to have.
And possibly explains a little bit about me.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so to end this episode, I guess, what are your hopes and dreams for 25?
So, I don't know, I feel like some of them I can't really say, because, like, first I want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
And also it's one of those things where I don't want to, like, talk about it, because then, like, I don't want it to, like, not come to
Well, I guess,
fruition
like,
because of
general
that.
themes or, like, whatever. Like, or, like, what's your, like, wish?
Yeah, I was getting there.
Okay.
You have to cut me off.
Well, you're welcome. That's what I do best.
True. So I do think for 25, I feel like I've always, like, in general been, like, pretty authentic. But like we kind of talked about, I feel for various reasons during my, like, mainly, like, middle school, high school, and then, like, the couple years after graduating, a lot of that just got, like, suppressed and dulled, and like my, like, true self, I suppose, kind of, like, went into hiding. And
yeah,
I think for these past couple years I've just been really spending them, like, allowing that person to come back out. So for 25, I think this is the year that I'm just, like, ready to embrace authenticity and embrace, like, I hate the idea of, like, icks and cringes and stuff like that. And
yeah,
like, I don't know, I, like, yeah, there's certain things that are just kind of, like, dumb and stupid, but I also think that, like, if you're doing things with good intention and, like, that you actually are passionate about and that you want to do, like, what's so fucking cringy about that?
Yeah.
So I feel like, especially when it comes to myself, like, I'm just ready to stop feeling that way about myself and just allowing the realness, the truth, the imposter syndrome to leave. You know?
Yeah, I love that. Well, on that note, I'd like to leave you with a little poem.
Oh no.
And this comes from Kanye West.
Okay.
And he says in the song We Don't Care, he says, weren't supposed to make it past 25. Joke's on you, we still alive. Throw your hands up in the sky and say, we don't care what people say.
I feel that was very fitting.
Yeah.
See, I'm sorry, but somehow, like, everything kind of comes back to Kanye for me.
It always does.
I do feel that in certain ways, like, I am connected with Kanye. I mean, Kanye was my senior quote.
Yeah, he was. It's all full
As he
circle.
should be.
Yeah.
which that's gonna get posted for this episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
It has to be. That was so good. I'm sorry, but like I still stand by my senior quote.
It was really good.
So,
but yeah, I just feel like, everything's been very cyclical this year, so.
It has been, but like I think it has been like cyclical, but to a point of like recognizing the patterns and like allowing them to be like renewed and changed into a different kind of cycle. Exactly. Like the rebirth has really been like the rebirth, and like so many things in my life have been like reminiscent of that.
Yeah, I feel that.
So here's to rebirthing.
Cheers. And cheers to 25.
Pooping in my mom's stomach this time.
Yeah.
Although, never mind, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah, just don't. I don't know what the fuck you were gonna say, but I know that you don't want to say it.
So with that, happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, Queen.
And Taurus Queen.
Yeah, and happy birthday to all of our other Taurus.
No, just me.
Okay, well, fuck all your other Taurus.
Yeah. No, like, if anyone else is especially... Okay, actually, I'm sorry. One more thing. I had this... I think I told you about this, but I had this dream that, like, not even really, like, a friend of mine, but, like, someone who, like, literally had a baby, like, a year ago or whatever it was. I had this dream that they had their baby on my fucking birthday, and I was literally livid.
Yeah.
Which it's, like... Is that, like, stupid and narcissistic? Maybe. But, like, how dare
this baby?
How dare? And, like, I'm sorry, but it's ugly. Like, no uglies can be born on May 17th.
No.
Hotties only. Hotties and thotties.
Hotties and thotties for May 17th.
So if you're an ugly and your birthday is today, no one cares. If you're a hottie and a thottie and you're born today, that's awesome, but it's still my day. So
it's still your day first.
Yeah, it's still me first and foremost, and then, like, whatever, you can have the leftovers. Once I'm done and tired,
yeah,
it's your turn.
Sure. Okay, well, with that.
with that humbleness in mind.
With that humble statement from our queen birthday.
Goodbye, queens.
Bye. Thank you for listening to Bell on Earth, the podcast. We hope that your minds have been expanded and your pussies have been opened.
Be sure to rate and follow the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
This podcast is brought to you by Free Studio Productions. It's hosted and produced by Cassidy and Kasey Bell. Big thanks to our executive producer, Dark Benton.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for all of your content needs. See you later, haters.